We've got Bryson Gray in the house now.
Oh, word.
There he is.
What's up, y'all?
Yo,
We were
thanks for coming on.
watching a clip from this Vice documentary that I discovered existed today. And the thing that I was going to say is this documentary is done from the angle that they do all these things on CNN and Vice on. And it's been like this for years, where they try to act like the documentary is like, let's try to figure this out. Let's try to figure out why these people think this way. And they're coming from a point of view where it's like, it's so strange that this even exists that they have to act like it's so strange. And the only reason why they're questioning people about it is to try to figure out this anomaly, this like you said, Eric, this glitch of the matrix. Why do Forgiato Blow and Bryson Gray even exist? Let's try to understand it. Let's try to go from this angle where we're treating them like some sort of parasite or amoeba that we're trying to figure it out. How long did this woman talk to you, and what kind of vibe did you get from it, Bryson?
Well, we talked for a good while. So obviously, you know how documentaries work. A lot of things get cut out. But we talked to her for a long time. I knew she was liberal off the rip. She left out a lot of things that I said to her because sometimes I trigger her a few times because knowing what type of person she was. But she actually was cool. I feel like for the most part, the documentary was like fair. It was actually them just trying to figure it out. She sort of left out the part about how shocked she was by how packed it was at our concert because she said, "Wow, I didn't think this was going to be like this packed." She said that on camera, but that part wasn't in there. Also, when the transgender person came, she left because she put the part in where I said 80% of what I said is objectively true, but she didn't put in the conversation that made me say that. We had a debate about gender and what gender was and why gender cannot change. And she left all that part out, but she still put the 80% of what I said is objectively true in there, which is weird because who even knows what I was responding to at that point? But
yeah, it was. Yeah. So you had said in that part that this transgender guy who showed up might have been set up. Who are you referring to? Might have been setting that up, Vice, or just the people running the video shoot, or what? And was it? Did you find out?
No, I never found out. They said it wasn't set up, but let me tell you what happened. We picked a random place to shoot a music video. Forgiato said we can go to the basketball court to give it a different look, and he says in a rich neighborhood. And then Vice said, "Let's do it." He showed me pictures. We had like 3 spots in mind. So we go there to shoot a video on the spot for Vice. Impossible. You know what I'm saying? Unless people had plans behind the scenes. We went, and there just so happened to be a transgender. Not only was there some 6'3" transgender, it was a 6'3" transgender Trump supporter. Oh, so random. This makes so much actual sense. And I told them that whole day, I said, this was set up, bro. Like, yeah, y'all can tell me what y'all want to tell me, but the chances of this happening is like 1 in a million. And the fact that it did happen, let me know it was set up. And then like they tried to get that person to come talk to me before Jado was like, do not let him go talk to Bryson because Bryson, he is not going to like you. Bryson going to send him home crying.
Another thing I want to ask you about Bryson, and then Eric will have something, and then if you can stick around, great. If you can, that's fine. A lot of the stuff I've seen on your Twitter, of course, top 5 most entertaining Twitters there are for me. A lot of this stuff you've been battling, well, I wouldn't say battling, just discussing with people, is, online clips of black people fighting in restaurants and stuff. And this has been something that I've noticed you commenting on a lot, where people are saying that this is a black people problem, and you say it's an everybody problem. And I just want to say, have you heard, what type of arguments have you heard around that? What arguments are you giving back to people? Because I feel like, on the, let's call it the fringes of the conservative things, this is something that people still believe is a thing, that there's a huge crime problem. And you see the online videos, of people fighting in Walmart or in Taco Bell, and I love Taco Bell, so that hurts me. What type of arguments are you getting from this for people who haven't been reading your stuff on that?
Well, the stuff I comment on mainly is the race baiting stuff, and I'm all about because there is a crime problem in the black community. That is just a simple, statistical fact. There's nothing to argue about. I'm not arguing about that. I'm arguing about the false narrative around it because conservatives are now being just as disingenuous, if not more disingenuous, than liberals are. What do I mean by that? Anybody that has been in this movement or in the realm of politics for the last 3 years, every time a black person gets shot by the police, the video comes out, everybody calls it racist. And what do conservatives typically say? Wait for the context. That's what we say, even with the George Floyd situation, right? Wait for the context. I thought that was a common sense thing to do. And then every time a black person tried to make it racial, people would ask, how do you know it was racial? Just because it's a white person and a black person in the scenario doesn't mean it's racial. So I thought this was a normal thing to say until these videos started becoming mainstream on the right of black people attacking white people. And a lot of these videos range from like 10 years ago to now. You know how confirmation bias works. Even if 100 of them is old, if one of them is from yesterday, that's all you need to confirm. So the issue is they paint these videos as if black people are genociding white people. And there's no statistics to back it up. The best argument and the best statistics they have is self-reported data, which is the victimization survey. And people are talking about this victimization survey as if it is fact. But this also seems so liberal because the survey is a self-reported survey. So they literally ask people questions. The incidents don't even have to be reported to police or anything. So you have no evidence of these things happening. Like literally, if a black liberal used hate crime statistics to say white people are racist, that will literally have more validity than the victimization survey on solely because the hate crime statistics, for it to be reported to the FBI, has to go through an investigation. The victimization survey doesn't. And both statistics are dumb. Hate crime statistics are dumb. And this survey is also dumb. And that seems to be their best argument, but it's a non-argument. But once again, it's like the right is turning to the left. It's weird.
The right is kind of turning into the left a little bit. But yo, I wanted to ask you because I struggle with this like every day, bro. Look, if you have contact with these quote unquote journalists, you know what I'm saying? Do you believe? I mean, do you think? I mean, these are adults, bro. Like we've all made it to a certain point in life, right? Like, do you really believe that these people actually believe this stuff, or are they just being fed? Like, do they go home at night and think like a man can actually turn into a woman? Like, do people genuinely believe that, or are they just getting their talking points and they know that they have to push the narrative, and they go home and they realize that it's all completely fake and it's all completely manipulative, or do they genuinely believe this stuff? In your opinion, obviously.
I think they genuinely believe it, which is the scariest thing about it. Like even in the Vice News documentary, I didn't post this in the clip on Twitter because I personally don't. I told you it disgusts me to see certain types of people. But the person is in the documentary, and I kid you not, this 6'3" man said, "I mean, I'm a big girl. I can handle it." That's literally what he said. He wasn't joking. It's not a joke. He's not laughing. He said, "I'm a big girl and I can handle it." People genuinely think you can switch your gender. And here go my thing, right? Say what you want to say, as long as you acknowledge that you're incorrectly using the English language. The word gender has the same root word as Genesis, like the book of Genesis, because Genesis, and everybody knows what Genesis means, definition. It means the beginning, the roots. The word gender, both words in Genesis come from the Latin word genus, which literally means birth. So you can use whatever language you want, jack up the English language, but you have to acknowledge that you're incorrectly using the language. But these people are very serious. I've been in real life debates about these topics that I thought were like jokes, and they were dead serious. So this is not a game.
Okay. Well, I guess in some way that's a little bit better than people just being completely evil and manipulative. Like, I mean, if I want to try to take the glass half full approach, like at least they believe what they're selling. Like the great George Costanza once said, "It's not a lie if you believe it." So I guess that's that's better than just being completely evil. But I mean, either way.
Well, I think a lot of the reporters are being evil though. Like a lot of the reporters that's like my age and older, I'm 31. If you my age and older, you know good and well, nobody ever said no crap like this. You know this is a lie. You know, man, you would have got laughed at. Ugh! I'm sorry.
Oh my word.
Yeah, this is where the clip cut off at first, basically. This was just before the clip that we showed Bryson. And yeah, I thought that I just thought that this was part of the documentary where they found somebody and they're talking to him, but this is a guy who obviously believes that his woman checking out for Giotto, I'd like to point out. Really?
And how long ago was this? How long ago was this filmed? Is this an older thing or...
This was right when the Kyrie Irving thing started, and it was right before the Balenciaga stuff. Because if you see in the documentary, I'm wearing Balenciaga, and the shoes I'm wearing, I burned them. So This was right before the Balenciaga stuff, but right after the Kyrie Irving stuff.
Copy.
Let's see if we can hear it.
MAGA or Trump that you like more than what I guess the
Sound
liberals
working?
were offering?
Yeah, I can hear it.
And it's lost through totalitarian government.
So some MAGA rap stuff is just like talking about Trump and MAGA, and there's other songs that are anti-LGBTQ, that are anti-trans.
And
Does that bother you?
you know what? It doesn't bother me because there's ignorance out there. Everybody's entitled to their own worldview. We're all product of our culture, our upbringing. It doesn't-
I'm not sure this guy has heard Bryson's music, because if there was a song out there that was just like anti-white people, then I wouldn't just be like, well, you know, it's just another it's just another thing that exists there. I'd probably be like, yeah, I don't agree with that, but you know, it's interesting. But yeah, that uploaded like a couple hours ago, I guess, just this
Yeah,
documentary. So
That's
check
why I
it
said in
out.
the documentary. I said that dude probably likes Forgiato Blows music.
Yeah, that was in the clip we played.
Yeah.
And they always send, I think, they always send the weirdest looking people in these. Vice probably just has a bunch of weird people working for them, and they're going under. They're looking for a sale. I wrote about this a couple months ago. A long way they've fallen since Gavin McInnes owned them, and they had a record label and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. We're gonna move on now. Do you got to go, Bryson, or do you want to stick around for this guy?
I was in the middle of editing the video, so
Okay.
And I gotta get it out by Friday. So I'm sure y'all know how long it takes to edit videos.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, bro.
Well, I do. Eric doesn't.
Thank you.
No,
I can edit a reel. All right, I can edit a short.
Hey, that take like 15 minutes too sometimes. So you already know what it is.
All right, thanks a lot,
y'all.
Bryson. Bryson showing up on absolutely zero notice. Thank you, Bryson. We'll talk to you later, all right?
No problem, bro. Yes, sir.